ever notice that how naturally and how simply we pass on the responsibility of any mess we create on somebody else? My friend, there is nothing but this is called passing the buck, and that's what I'm going to share. One negative attribute quality we all have in ourselves. Passing the buck, my friend, is one of those terrifying, I said, hybrid flaws. We all have it, and we do it repeatedly. It's you take a healthy dose of needing to win and making excuses. I have talked about on these negative traits. Mix up with refusing to apologize and failing to give proper recognition. Then sprinkle in a faint hint of punishing the messenger. And of course, then getting angry. And what you end up with is simply nothing, and is called passing the buck ultimately. That means blaming the others for our mistake. My friend, this is the behavioral flaw by which we judge our leaders. As important a negative attribute as positive qualities such as brain power, courage, and resourcefulness. A leader who cannot shoulder the blame is not a good leader at all. And I don't think people will follow him after some time. And more so in armed forces, where you got to face the fight battles, it's a difficult task. Nobody will follow you. We instinctively question that individual's character, dependability, and loyalty towards us. And so we hold back on our loyalty to him or her. It applies in every interaction or every relationship. My friend, what's strange about passing the buck is that unlike the other flaws I have spoken so far, which we are rarely aware of, we don't need other people to point out that we are passing the buck. We are making somebody else responsible for our mess, for our fault, for our mistakes. We are well aware of it. We know that we must shoulder the blame for the failure. You must take on the responsibility of your actions, and we can bring ourselves to do it very comfortably. And since we can't do it, we have to find a scapegoat. I know a friend, very successful in business, but his staff was never happy with him. And he always used to wonder, okay, what is that thing? And we all know it. Just watching him functioning in his office for a few days, sitting with him, his interaction, the way of passing instructions and checking people. He himself said that he was always missing in action when one of his projects run into trouble or an idea flopped. He himself admits that. As good as he was at picking winners, he was a genius at pinning the blame on someone else when the occasional losses materializes, and that was his flaw. This was his form of passing the buck. Needless to say, he didn't endear him to his staff or impress them with his leadership skills. And when I sat down with him to go over the feedbacks, you see, he himself admitted and said that I don't need to hear the results. I know what you have learned. People say I am not good at accepting responsibility. And here he was. He is always on the uh, spree of passing the buck and making somebody responsible for the mishaps or the losses or the uh, mistakes. Now that's right. I told him point blank, and I said, people think you pass the buck. As a result, you're losing their respect. You will never get to the top or get their confidence this way or any other or in any situation. You got to mend your behavior. How come you know that you have the habit of passing the buck? And my answer was simple, that no one is perfect, my friend. None of us is right all the time. You take it any sports, any event, cricket, basketball, or tennis, or hockey, the champions, speak the great coaches or the champions. They will always say there is a principle of that 60% times they fail to make it, only 40% times they make the thing success or big. Even the experts, the top players, they also do 60% of the time mistakes, and they miss the expected results. So what make you think that you are better than those champions who have proved themselves in their fields? I spent a lot of time with him discussing the paradox and the my friend, the sense of infallibility made him look even more fallible to his colleagues. He thought he was preserving the reputation for making good decisions, whereas everyone else thought he was simply passing the buck, making others responsible for his mistakes. And that's a big flaw. It was such an unattractive quality that uh, it just cancelled all his great positive qualities which he had. My friend, remember, the irony, of course, is that infallibility is a myth. No one expects us to be right all the time. It is not possible. We are human. To err is human. But when we are wrong, they certainly expect us to own up to it. In the sense, being wrong in one is an opportunity to show what kind of a person and leader you are, what kind of person and leader we are. Consumers judge a service business not so much when it does things right. Consumers expect that you own up to your responsibilities. If some wrong thing happened, you apologize, say sorry, and move on and do the best. My friend, if passing the buck is your challenge, you are probably aware that you are doing what you are doing. My aim is simply of the beginning of this fall, passing the buck here is to make you see that you are not fooling anybody except perhaps yourself, and that no matter how much you think you are saving your hide, you are actually killing it. Get off this habit of passing the responsibility on someone else of your mistakes, my friend. Own up, and you will have greater respect and greater chance winning the confidence of your colleagues, friends, subordinates, and co-workers. Thank you very much.